boys and girls. Long time no see. I'm trying out the new equipment. We'll see how it all goes. I'm going to try and look at this before uploading it though, so if there's no volume, I will know and I will try something else, but mostly it's technical difficulties that has prevented me from recording and uploading, although I still consider it to be a rather intimidating task. I'm not going to lie about that. And the last time I looked at myself on video, I was like, who's that? Whose grandmother is that? And it just did a whole number on me. So anyway, I put on lipstick today because it's the first time in months I have, and I wanted to see if I could still do it. So here I am. Okay, so today I am going to mention as many cool things as possible in a relatively limited amount of time. Because, yeah, I mean, still things are going on that are not necessarily ideal for anybody. People's relatives are still sick, and I know of a couple who have died. All of that's still going on. I haven't forgotten about any of you, any of your requests, whether you've stated them or not. I'm still doing the Thursday night prayers, whether or not I broadcast anything. So rest assured that that is still happening every single week for however long I can muster the energy after work or whatever. And I pray, all the other days as well, just because it's God and I love Him. So, and also whether or not you celebrate Halloween, I appreciate your prayers around that time. Some people I know do all-night prayer vigils around that time. With me, I do prayers. I'm going to include, if I can, distribute treat bags in a responsible and government-approved manner. I will, but there will also be key tags with miniature versions of Bible verses on there. So that will be a thing, but I will admit also that I celebrate Halloween in certain crazy, macabre-ish ways. Certainly nothing ritualistic and all that, nothing pentagramish. But yeah, I do get to be a little bit cheesy and a little bit insane, if humanity gets to finally embrace my inner weird for one night a year anyway, and the rest of the time they realize it's not just Halloween that I'm like this. So actually, let me go get the first praise report because I forgot it in the other room. So give me a sec. Don't have the editing stuff yet, so yeah, bear with me. Hold on one sec. I have pants on. Okay, so some move. So this puppy, it's a plant, but this guy has been quite spindly for a good portion of time. Was actually leaning more than what it currently is, and had very dry brown bits at the end, and I thought it was on its way out. It was actually a gift to me anyway from somebody I knew from a church, and when I'd first gotten it, it had bloomed, but I usually end up killing them shortly thereafter. Involuntary herbicide, that's my expertise in botany, I guess you could say. But I have been really attentive to a lot of my plants. To the point where they're actually doing okay or possibly even thriving. And this one is one of the biggest comeback kids of all time. And to the point where, and this is fall, so this is a very strange time, but this hyacinth is blooming. It's got the shortest blooming stalks I think I've ever seen, but it is blooming and it smells amazing. And oh my gosh, it's like the greatest smell, and it's so pretty. I mean, obviously, it's one of the more unusual plants of all time, but if you look really closely, let me see if I can show it to you. Look at all the green that's coming up along with it. It's going to be a whole different plant by the time it gets tall enough. It's going to be like lush, and yeah, it's going to be really, really cool. So I am looking forward to that, and I don't know where I'm going to put this now. Hopefully I won't spill it. That would be horrendous. Oh, I think I found the spot. So I guess one of the morals of that story is sometimes, to quote two movies, it was only mostly dead, and sometimes things just look dead. Well, the more exact quote, sometimes animals only look dead. Anyway, so that's one thing. Gosh, I really should have written down these notes because I don't know if you've noticed this, but it's so much easier to remember about the things that bring us pain than the things that bring us relief or bring us joy. It's harder to be thankful than it is to be kind of in despair or whatever. I can get into that constantly. I'm still having difficult times with the songwriting and staying awake and eating properly and everything else. But I'll tell you what, the self-care is getting better, definitely better than it was with me. I'm taking just about all of my supplements, regularly now, drinking a lot more water, sleeping better than I was. Instead of getting to bed at 2 or 3, I'm getting to bed around, 12 to 1, something like that. I have about up to 2 sets of song lyrics to finish before that part of my album is totally done. One of which is a Spanish song, so that translation is going to be very interesting. But a church member helped me translate it from English to Spanish already, and so that's a huge praise. She just wanted to do it. I didn't tell her she was going to get like any kind of co-songwriting credit or anything. I'm definitely going to be mentioning her though. She was instrumental in that, and she went out of her way to do that, and that was so cool. So there is that. I'm very excited to be getting closer to finishing the lyrics, and I think when I do, it's going to propel me ahead with actually writing and finishing songs. I think I also know which song I'm going to use as my first single. That's been like in my head for months, and now it's like really there, and I'm like thinking of ways I can sing the middle part better and stuff like that. So I think that's probably the right one, and I think it's the best overall representation of the entire album, which is an autobiographical account of my life from Secret of Faith. In case this is the first video you've watched of me, and yeah. It's been a very, very long time in the making, and so I'm trying to see myself as a songwriter and singer, especially child of God, that in general, in God's army, all of those things that God wants me to adapt to that identity that He has. And I think we all need to step up our game a little bit with these times. One of the praises is I watched various debates, and I am not especially going to comment on them. I think there's enough of that. And God's still in control regardless, and I am very thankful about that. several weeks ago. I'm not sure exactly when, but I finally got to sing on the worship team at the church I go to for the first time. Oh my gosh, that was beautiful. It was amazing. It was magical, even just miraculous feeling of it was just intense. Me and the worship leaders' voices, they both mesh so well. I usually sing harmony to her melody, and she even let me pick out the first three songs like completely, um, and she let me sing lead on one of them. It was just beautiful. There's definitely attack coming from the enemy on all of that. She has to stay home because of her supervisor and everything, due to restrictions and things like that. But um, hopefully this is a temporary setback. Hopefully I'll get to sing some more, and hopefully this time will grow us both. And but nevertheless, not only did I sing at this church, and have sung like two or three other times since then, but the three people that I invited to church, only one of whom I said I was going to sing to, they all showed up, all three of them. And I've maintained contact with one of them, regular contact. Another one I have to maintain regular contact with. Um, but it's been just amazing, just to see how God's working right now. It's just beautiful. I was able to spend some time with family recently. They're all in town and everything. I was able to give them all their birthday presents on the same day, so it was like a miniature Christmas. And yeah, so it was really sweet, and there was a certain connection there, and so I take that, as the precious gift it is. I don't take it for granted. I'm maintaining more of a steady contact with my brother as well, which is amazing because he's my accountability partner, so it's whether he likes it or not. So I have to, and I'm privileged to keep in contact with him. And I always feel so much more peace and joy after contacting him, and hopefully he feels the same way, because I don't want to be a burden on the dude that means so much to me. Oh, good gracious, now I'm like forgetting everything. If this works, this microphone that's to my left here, I got that a couple of weeks ago from a church member that got it in the mail. I don't know if it was free for her, but she hadn't ordered it, and it arrived. She didn't know I needed a microphone, and she brought it up in the group talk, and I'm like, I need a microphone. She's like, oh yeah, I'll bring it to church. And so she did, and now I have a microphone. That's pretty rad, right? So, yeah, it's all really awesome. Of course, I still have a place to live. I still have a job. School is still in limbo because that was the internship portion of the tour, and that's in my state. That's, as far as I know, that's still not happening. It's like the governor is flirting with the idea of opening a little more, but then she's closing stuff, and so I don't know. I'm hoping that at the very least somehow the internship manages to I don't know. I don't even know if it's possible to do that effectively through teletherapy or something like that. But I do want to finish school, even though it seems really in limbo and semi impossible now. But God wants me to finish it, it's going to get done. And that's it. I mean, I don't even know if I want to pursue counseling as a career per se. I'm just I am drawn to it to an extent. I do definitely want to help people. I do think, though, that singing is probably a more effective way of doing that, and I definitely am drawn to that more, and always have been. So we'll just see how things go. I mean, I have to pay the bills too, but I'm a good retail associate, and I didn't think I'd ever be good at that. And I recently received like 3 accolades from my boss at work due to excellent customer service surveys. I mean, they were like stellar. I'm always very happy about that I can help people, even in some small way, because people need to be decent with each other, whoever it is they come in contact with. That's part of the love each other portion of the greatest commandment, and whenever that manifests in me in an obvious way, I'm always very pleased. It's not always the case, but I do try. And let's see, oh golly, what else? I know this thing's already gone on nearly 20 minutes, but see this background here? This is all my family. My ancestors, my 2 daughters, their first 5 years. I know you can't really see it, but just know it's there, and it's really awesome. And in a fire, I would take me and my family and my cats, and then my pictures out of the house. That memories are very important. History is very important, good, bad, and otherwise. And what other words of wisdom do I have? Just, I guess, whatever circumstances are happening, God is above them all. And just for us to know that, for us to trust that, for us to trust Him, that is one of the most important things, to cling to God, to cling to our relationship with Him, to remember who He is, who we are in Him, to love Him in all things and trust Him in all things. And I guess that's about it. Just if you have any prayers or any blessings you want to share, the usual, just to leave those in the comments. I'm always glad to read them. And yeah, so again, still doing the Thursday night prayers. Still loving you guys, and hoping everybody's well. And I guess I'll talk to you next time.